Thanks again to all the sponsors. Thanks to all of you for coming out. We'll start over here, and if everyone could just tell us your name and where you're from, and then ask your question.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Monica.
Hi, Monica.
From Chicago originally.
Nice.
I got my student here, so I wanted to ask you a bit about your writing process. And I know at one point you had said, I don't know when, I've been a fan for a while, but
Awesome.
you said you sucked at writing pretty much. And I wanted to know kind of when that switched to, like, when did you figure out how to write?
Thanks for that. That's awesome. Sucking at writing, everybody sucks when they jump into it.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan wore diapers and then learned how to play basketball. So he had to learn, you know what I mean? There's not really like a formula. People do use formulas, and a lot of times that's not the best way. But for me, what happened was I just pushed myself to write differently every time. So what that means is how I do it now, I just keep it moving. I never sit down really, I mean, not too often, I won't say never, but not too often do I sit down with just a blank slate and say, I'm going to write a full song idea. Right. A lot of times it'll just come from a voice memo I made at dinner or a lunch with a friend where he said something I thought was funny and I use that as a lyric, which happens all the time. Exactly. Yeah, so there's a bunch of lyrics, you know, that come from that. And music ideas, I just spend most of my time listening to music, absorbing everything, sponging everything up, because there's so much stuff out there. I've listened to a lot of music, and I haven't even made a dent into what is possibly like able to hear. Like I haven't heard most of music, and that's crazy. So there's always something to listen to. But yeah, I like to bounce around because it helps it keep it not stale. Right. It helps keep the process moving.
Cool.
Didn't give up.
Yeah.
Thank
Never
you.
give up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll head this way.
That's great. Are we going mic to mic? Hi.
Yeah. Hi, I'm JJ.
Hi, JJ.
On the new album, great album, by the way. Oh
Thank
my
you.
God. But you use these old phrases like, finders keepers, losers weepers, and don't forget me is a good time. And you sample Rock Lobster, which is amazing.
Thanks.
But
Thank you.
I'm wondering what advice you can give to young artists like myself that are looking to take something that's been done and turn it into something new and fresh like you did.
That's a great question.
That's great. That's a great question. What I do is I feel I've gotten better at as time has gone on at this. Is that, like I say, I listen to a lot of music. So anytime I listen to music, something's going to spark inside of me, and I need to jump up and like. I did this since I was a kid. When I was a kid, I would hear something on a commercial and be like, "What's that song?" Like when the first time I heard a Chips Ahoy commercial, it was Benny Goodman's "Sing, Sing, Sing," and I was like, "What is this jazz song?" And I was just like, I wanted to pluck it out on the piano, and I was like doing the trumpet with my mouth. So there's always something musical I wanted to do. I think the way of incorporating it gets you get closer to fulfilling it as time goes on. When you really love an artist and you have the passion for it, like I didn't really start to incorporate Sinatra's sound or Queen's sound until recently because I never really figured out how. I always want to do my own thing, and I want to push myself the way that they did. Their inspiration kind of pushed me to do my own thing because they're so original. David Bowie's another one, you know. So just in general, it's just nice to be inspired by amazing artists.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And and I think that's something that a lot of iconic, great bands, Metallica always says they're just Diamond Head plus Motorhead.
Right.
There's something about taking those influences, but then putting it through your prism, and that's what keeps it pushing forward.
100%.
So someone in here is going to love Panic at the Disco, but do something similar in their
Sure.
way.
That's so crazy. That's very exciting. Thanks in advance.
Go this way.
Hi, Brendan.
Hi.
My name is Spencer.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. So the other two questions were really smart and musical, but my question is actually just something that's been driving me and my roommate crazy for a while.
Okay.
And we're wondering, what is the spoken word that you're saying in between lines in the second verse of Victorious?
In Victorious? Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean that moment where it goes, rock?
Yeah.
Just rock.
Oh.
It's literally a sample of Siri typed into the phone, Siri, can you say rock? And she just, rock. And then you record that, you know what I mean? You use that little 1/8" to 1/4" plug-in jack, and then you,
there you
direct,
go.
yeah.
Very
Thank you for
nice.
that.
Yeah.
No one's asking
That was a
before.
great question. What do you mean?
Rock. Yeah, that's what it
Don't
is.
sell yourself short.
You are my rock, Brendan. Hi.
All right. Hello.
How's it going?
Hello. My name is Kamel. I am from Texas. I am in the vocal program here at MI.
Awesome.
So I just wanted to ask you, from one singer to another, what would you say motivates you to keep going when you're at your lowest?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, there are times, that there's like a 5-point artist cycle, right? You have an idea, that's one. You're really excited about your idea. You keep working at it. You start to get frustrated. You want to fucking kill yourself. So it's like it goes in those points, and then from the point where you're just like, I want to give up. I can't do this. That's the 5th point. Somehow you find the inspiration to come back to 1, and what that is I try to step away. I try to step away from it when I get really frustrated. Vocally, though, it's different. I've always had a passion for playing music and singing, as I'm sure you do, which is really important to have. If you don't have the passion behind it, it might suffer, who knows. But if you have the passion behind it, you're probably going to want to keep pursuing it, and then that kind of lull in between where you get frustrated shortens over time. You get better at dealing with it, and it happens less. And then over time, you don't even notice it when it happens. You forget that it happened, and then you just keep moving forward. But it takes time. I mean, really, it does. Because I remember times where I just was so frustrated. I can't even compare it to anything. It was just like my lowest point. But yeah, it just helps if you really have the passion, if you want to try something different.
Okay.
Thanks. Thank you.
And that 5-point thing applies, I think, to any kind of creative art.
100%. Yeah.
Did you come up with that? Never heard that
Yes,
before.
no, I didn't. No, I had a couple of friends tell me about that. It was actually a dancer that Cloud Campos, who directed a couple of my videos actually, but most recently Emperor's New Clothes. His wife is a choreographer. Yeah, thank you. His wife is a choreographer, and she helps him do all this stuff, and he's holding the camera and actually dancing with me and doing all this stuff. So they're dancers, and she uses that with her dance. And so it's for anybody, any kind of art.
That's great, because
yeah.
I literally go through that cycle.
Yeah.
Every cover I've written.
Of course.
I mean, where you get to that point where you're like, well, how do I even do this for a living?
Yeah.
'Cause
Should I start over? This is
terrible.
Yeah. Should I scrap this idea? Yeah.
And then you do come back to 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, Brendan. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Awesome.
My name's Karina, and I wanted to ask if you could add one more song to your set list, but it had to be from A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. Which song would it be and why?
If I had to add another one from Fever, if I had to.
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm just kidding.
Do you have your set list worked out for the Weezer?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I try to start on that early so that when it gets down to it, I don't feel overwhelmed. I think, I don't know, maybe one like Constantly Thank God for Esteban. That was always fun to play live. I really like that one. Yeah, let's just say that one. Why not?
Yeah, that went over.
I really like that one. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, by the way. Hello.
Hi,
How are
I like
you?
your socks.
Oh, thanks. Like these? That was weird. Okay, continue.
I said he is the most stylish man in the
Want to see
scene.
my underwear? No.
As a girl wanting to start a band, I was wondering what's your advice to becoming successful?
Becoming successful. That depends on how you measure success. Honestly, I know that's the cliched, shitty answer,
Like you guys,
but honestly,
panic.
Some
thank
cliches
you.
are true.
But it's very true. I think for me, if I can keep touring around the world and keep playing shows, that's successful. I just want to get to a point where I can just always do that and continue that process, because that is one of the most important things to me. So if you're starting off in a band, I'd say starting off, spend most of your time writing, getting to know your other bandmates, if you have other bandmates, getting to know the process, because you're going to be locked in cars for a long amount of time, and you got to get along with your people, or else it's just going to, you know. It might not end well, you know what I mean? No.
Finding what success means for yourself, I think, is the biggest takeaway.
Totally.
From that,
Yeah,
right?
you definitely need to figure out what you define
Measuring
as
success by comparing yourself to others. Like I've always
Right.
likened it to, it's like the ladder where you can take this band and say, they wish they were this band, and,
Right.
and then it goes all the way to,
Comparing is different from having a competitive edge with your peers. Like wanting to compete against your friends isn't the same as oh, I wish I had what they had, because then that's just envy.
and then you're never
You don't wanna be
satisfied because
envious.
there's always a tougher kid on the block.
Exactly. There's always a bigger fish, and somebody will always have a better song. But if you just keep fighting for what you want to do and just get better at it for yourself, that's a huge thing. Great
Everybody
question.
wants
Thank
to
you.
be the Beatles, and John Lennon wanted to be bigger than Jesus. So
That's true.
That's where it ends.
And they were.
It doesn't get any bigger
fuck
there.
it.
Oh, my
Thank
name
you.
was Claudia, by the way.
Thank you, Claudia. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Denora, and
How's it
I'm from Riverside. My question was, would you ever do something like live in Chicago again? Like a
Oh.
live album?
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, I actually was just talking about this last week with some people about shooting this upcoming tour with Weezer. Because, I want to capture it for my own home video, just to have Rivers on DVD in my house. Walking through the backstage with me, that'd be crazy. Thank you, by the way, for that question. Yeah, I do want to do that again, because that was just too much fun. It's been a while since I've done a live DVD. I'd like to do that. I just have to get better. I just
Hopefully,
wanna-
hopefully it's not just footage of him having the backstage area cleared.
Where he gets in his like his wardrobe case and they lock it up and then they wheel him around. And he's got 2 little holes and he just stares at people as he's like being rolled around. That's not real, by the way.
No, it's not real.
Is it? No.
Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
That was me in the green
Adorable.
room. That was me.
Adorable.
That was me 10 minutes ago.
Okay, so I have no questions about your music or anything. But
Okay. Cool.
What's the scariest situation you've ever been in?
Scary situation. There's
That's
I
very,
have, I have
that's very
plenty of-
Proustian.
That is very Proustian. Scariest situation. I think I have plenty of those actually. Thank you for your question. I have plenty of those instances. I'll tell you one because I've told one recently about Mexico. But this is one that happened in Japan. Ow! Almost getting kidnapped. No. So what happened was, in Japan, this is not a kidnapping story. This is in a plane lightning story. So we got up in a plane. We were flying from Tokyo to Osaka, play another festival. And I don't want to deter anybody who's already afraid of flying, but this definitely happened. So we're up in the plane. We're on the flight. It's only like a 2.5-hour flight. It's not that long. An hour in, the whole plane you just hear this, and the whole plane just goes, all the power shuts off. One of the engine kicks off. And they're yelling in Japanese on the intercom. And I'm just sitting there like near shitting my pants. And I look over and I grab our friend who was our translator there. And I'm just like, Yoko, what the fuck are they saying? And she's like, oh, it's okay. Plane was hit by lightning. And I'm just like, what? Like I'm flipping out. I'm like, that's not real. She's like, it's okay. The power will come back on in like 5 minutes. I'm like, 5 minutes? We could plummet to our death in 5 minutes, you jerks! Like, what are you doing? So I was flipping out, and then like not even 15 seconds later, power kicks back on, and then about half an hour later, again, boof! Everything shuts off. Again, 20 seconds later, power comes back on. But in those like 15-second lulls, I'd never been more terrified in my life. This was like 2006, and just like, this is how I'm gonna die. This is it. I'm going out like this. 19 years old. Okay. It was so terrifying. Thank you, by the way, for that. It's fun to relive that.
I'm sorry for traumatizing you again.
Oh, thank you. Adorable. Oh, over here.
Hey.
How's it going? Hey. Sup, bruh?
My name's Jacob. I'm from Denver.
What's going on?
Nothing much.
Best answer.
So, during past tours, you do a lot of theatrics and some special things, and even you have some themes running through, especially like Tours After Fever and Tours After Pretty Odd. Sure. What can we expect from the next tour? Is there going to be like a theme? Are we going to see any pyrotechnics or anything cool?
Yeah, I do like putting on something a little crazier, something I haven't done before. So if there is a theme, I haven't thought of it yet. I just have ideas, and then if there becomes a through line once you get to a certain point, it's usually like maybe a month out from tour, I'll find a through line and start to finalize ideas, and then you got to contact people and figure out if I can actually set myself on fire. So I do have ideas, but we'll see if they're actually going to come to fruition. But there's no shortage of ideas, and no theme yet. I think the theme is just awesome because I'm touring with Weezer, so it's just going to be crazy.
Well, sweet. Thanks, dude.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're going to do a set of all Weezer covers.
Yeah, I'm going to play Weezer. They're going to play Panic.
Hi.
Hi.
My name's Zena. I've been annoying my mom with your music. I'm really proud of it.
Sorry to your mom.
So my question is, from Fever, since you had the entire band, to now, what has been the hardest thing since you've been having to do everything by yourself?
The hardest thing? I guess coming up with everything. But, I've got time for that. I don't mind coming up with everything. Hardest thing? What
was the hardest part of creating Death of a Bachelor?
Oh, okay. There were a couple songs that took me like over a month to finish. I was really excited. Emperor's New Clothes is an example of a song that I started. Thank you. This is an example of a song I started, and I'd worked on it for a couple weeks. Then I just took a break because I was so frustrated. I didn't have this bridge part I had in my head. I couldn't really picture it. And so that one was really frustrating. It almost didn't.
That high note you put in there must have been really difficult.
Oh, yeah. that came later. So I was wondering why I wasn't so excited about the song, and then that was a moment where I just said, fuck it, I'll just bite the bullet, and I just pushed myself to sing something ridiculous. I wanted some like high energy, high octane, high octave part, and it just happened, and that was a really happy accident. I was so mad that I just got up in this range like, no! You know what I mean? And it just worked out. But it was very frustrating.
Did you walk outside and there were like all the neighborhood dogs?
Yeah,
they were just gathered in there. Thank you.
Thank you, by the way.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is Vanessa.
How's it going?
I'm from Highland.
Awesome.
And you've been asked before how many instruments you can play, and you named quite a few. And I was wondering which one's the hardest one you've had to learn.
Ooh, hardest instrument I've had to learn. The one I struggled with the most was trumpet in middle school. That one I was so frustrated. And then not too late after that. It's pretty recent actually. I was maybe like 3 months into playing trumpet. I had the lip buzz down, I had all that down. I was trying to learn scales, and at that point I got braces, and that just dead stopped to the trumpet career because I didn't want to put the wax on, and I was, it was like it hurt so much to make the notes, and I couldn't do it the way I wanted to. So I got really frustrated. I almost quit band. That was one of the most like trying instruments that I've ever, taken a stab at. Thank you, by the way.
Thank you.
Respect to the trumpet players.
Yeah. All right.
Hi, my name is Ariana, and I'm from Norwalk. And my question is, what gave you the name? Like, how did you come up with Death of a Bachelor? What was the meaning behind it?
Oh man, good question. Yeah, so writing Death of a Bachelor, that title came first. I'd actually been sitting with a friend. I was sitting with Lolo. Give her credit, a little shout out. Lolo is incredible, yeah. She's an incredible artist, in my opinion. I think she's got this voice that's so unique, and her lyric writing is so unique. And in order to get that visceral nature behind the message, I reached out to her and I said, hey, do you have any ideas? Here's what I want to talk about. But I want to make it somber and kind of bittersweet. And so she totally understood. And she sent me back a couple ideas. And the first thing that I found in this like bed of lyrics, she had sent me like, here's some ideas, maybe it springboards something. And the first thing I just saw was Death of a Bachelor. And immediately I grabbed that word and I just started building a story around it. So that was like the kickoff point. And then I tried to write a Sinatra song and then realized I don't know how to play these string instruments and compose that stuff. So I'm going to stick to what I know and put this to a beat that I made. And it just kind of worked out. Thank you, by the way.
Thank you.
That's great.
Amazing. That was awesome.
Hello.
Hi, Brendan. My name's Diana.
Nice to meet you,
Diana. From Fresno. And anyway, I went to the Tower Theater show, and
cool.
you were brilliant live.
Thank you.
Like vocals, wow.
Thanks.
Anyway, so my question is, how was it like recording the Sinatra-esque songs like Impossible Year and Death of a Bachelor?
Yeah.
And did it make you think that you should maybe record more songs like that in the future for future albums?
Oh yeah, great question. I would love to do like a jazz type album.
Yeah.
I actually had the opportunity to do that a couple times. I did this thing in New York at a place called the McKittrick Hotel, and they do a show called Sleep No More.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying. I mean, it's really crazy. If you guys don't know what this is, it's an interactive play. They're basically doing a turn of the century, 19th century take on Macbeth, and it's just really, really wild. And they asked me to be a part of it. I was a part of this thing. A couple people almost hit their heads on the floor. It was just really terrible. That's another story. But I had the chance to go into this lounge where you go if you don't want to experience all the horror that is happening around the building. You can go into this place, it's like a little cocktail lounge, and I got to sing with this jazz band. And that was the coolest thing to me. I'd never done that before. I played in jazz band in middle school. Totally different thing. I thought I knew like jazz and all that, but playing with these guys, it was so incredible. Playing off of each other and listening to each other was really a huge learning experience. And I would love to. I would actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to pursue that.
You should.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. That's great.
She gets A&R credit on that.
Yeah.
record.
You get 10%.